Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is well today. Let's start out with the old faithfuls. The county positivity is down once again. Last week was 5.2 when we talked. It is 4.1 today. And it has been on the decline in Waukesha County, the positivity. 47.5% of the folks in Waukesha County have had their first vaccine. Or no, have had their first vaccine. Um, so we're well on our way to hitting 50% in the county. It's not bringing us to herd immunity yet, but we're doing really, really well. Couple things to talk about today. Many of you heard on the news that CDC came out with new guidance. And so the CDC guidance is here, and it's only a couple pages. But then CMS, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, came out with their guidance. And of course, they're a whole lot more thorough than the CDC. They came out with 8 pages of guidance that we were able to look at and get a handle on, kind of. DHS, Department of Health Services in Wisconsin, has not done their interpretation of this yet, but I'm going to give you our interpretation of this. And if we have to make changes, we may, but we're going to go with what we believe the intent of CDC and CMS has been. And I'm not going to cover this all in a nice, orderly manner. Emily kind of did that in her email. Some of you already got her email. Communal dining. We're talking about communal dining basically in the tower and in the nursing home on the south side of the campus. We're opening that up to folks. You don't have to be 6 feet apart. You don't have to be 2 people at a table, as long as everyone is vaccinated. That's the caveat in all of this. You don't need to be separate. You don't need to be worried about that. So we can bring some chairs back into the dining room in the tower, get some of that back in, the tables back in. We can get back to as close to normal as possible, as long as everyone at that table is vaccinated. If we have folks that aren't vaccinated, the guidance says you don't have to wear a mask unless there's someone in the group that is not vaccinated. Then everyone needs to wear a mask. So we're dealing with that yet, and we'll get some added guidance on that. Otherwise, folks, if you're walking through the tower, just when I came in here, I met a tower resident, and she pulled out her mask and put it on. You don't need to do that anymore. As you're walking around in the common areas, everyone in the tower, we are at least at 98, 99% vaccinated. So we're not gonna mandate that you wear masks when you come out of the apartment. You don't need them when you go into the community room. I walked by there this morning, and there were some folks with their masks on yesterday. They were playing bingo and they had masks on. And we're not telling you not to wear the mask. We're saying you don't have to. If you feel safer with the mask on, please be comfortable wearing it, because that is your choice. But you no longer have to when you come out of the building or out of the apartment and in the common spaces. If you're with a group of strangers and you don't know where they've been, it might be good to wear the mask, but that'll be up to you. Those of you on the North Campus, this is spilling over to that side of the campus too. Lake Terrace folks, you don't need to wear those masks when you come out of the apartment. You don't need to wear them when you go down to the card room or that kind of thing. I'm not going to say you should or shouldn't wear the mask when you come through the Life Enrichment building. The cafe is open to the public. We still have the sign on the front that says wear masks when you're in here. But I have to tell you that most of the people, the minute they sit down and their coffee's in front of them, their masks come off, and they usually have them off for the duration of the time they're there. They may wear them as they walk out of the cafe, and then they take them off when they get outside. You don't need masks outside. Don't need masks outside. I have some folks that have rented the pavilion. We talked about, wearing masks when you aren't eating or drinking. Don't worry about that. You can leave the masks off. Another thing that we were talking about just before we came on the air is the boat rentals. We had said, okay, 6 people on the boat so we can keep you socially distanced and things like that. No, the capacity of the boats is 10. We're going to let you load 10. That we're set for that, so you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to go out with masks on the boat. Now, all of these good things that I've said really apply mostly to our residents. They don't apply to staff. We still need to wear the masks. We still need to be conscientious about where we are. The CDC and CMS have not relaxed those rules. I talked to somebody this morning and they said, oh, that's really not fair because, we have very limited resident contact. And I guess I'm gonna just speak a second to the staff. I just want to remind, and this person, he was right. He has very, very limited contact with staff, or with residents, I'm sorry. But we consider, CMS says all HCP, healthcare professionals, need to be masked and need to react appropriately to this guidance. And a year ago, when we handed out the COVID incentive pay, we said we are treating every staff member as a healthcare professional. And we did the bonus to everyone. And so, we benefited from that. Those of us who didn't have direct care contact, and now we just have to be with the rest of our staff, and bear with it. Changes are coming so rapidly, that, and I don't know how long it's going to be before we can lighten up on this, but for the time being, staff will wear masks. Group activities, we're going to be talking about group activities. We're going to try to get as many of those going again as we can. We need to do that safely. Let's see. Oh, chapel. Up in the chapel here, we had a 9 o'clock chapel group and we had a 10:30 chapel group. Guess what? We don't have to distinguish between those two anymore. You may choose the chapel service you wish to come to. The only change we're going to ask is of the North Campus, because of the duties of our weekend custodian. He's really very, very busy up until about 9:30, 10 o'clock. So we are going to provide bus transportation at the 10:30 service. Normally what happens on the weekend is there is the assurance check-in, and normally they go over at 10 o'clock to do the assurance check-in, and then he takes the bus over and he comes back at the, about 10 after 10. So if you want to come over to chapel, please call Stacy, let her know that you will be riding the bus at the 10:10 or 10:15 time, and we will be there to pick you up. If Stacy doesn't know you're coming, we're not going to be there. Visitors, we are still going to be asking visitors when they come, at least on this side of the campus, when they come, they are going to be masked until they get to the residence room, from checking in through the building to the residence room. If the visitors both have been vaccinated, then they can choose to take the masks off. if the resident agrees, and have the visit without masks. That is, that is a resident's choice. If they have not been vaccinated, they can come in, they can visit, but it's those two people only, and they have to keep the masks on. Staff, I'm thinking most of you got the memo that says if you're vaccinated, no more COVID testing on Monday. That's a big thing. Oh, you didn't get the memo yet? Well, then you heard it here. That's unusual. Yes, the new guidance is if you have both the vaccines or the one shot of the Johnson & Johnson, you do not need to do the COVID testing weekly. Now, I'm going to put a little disclaimer to that. We have to know that you got the vaccines. If you got them here when we had the clinics, I think we have that information. Yeah, well, we're figuring it out. If you've gotten the vaccines somewhere else, you need to let us know, and then we can exclude you from the testing. And that is a real plus. Let's see, what else? Oh, there was also an updated memo on unvaccinated staff travel. And did that come out yet? Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, I thought so. But refer to that, and if there are questions, Chris Comas or Kathy can help you on that, okay? Let's see, what else? I have a list here. Boats testing pavilion, we talked about that, no mask. How was Bank 5-9 this morning? Did any?
So we had 45 minutes of full time. He had about 10 minutes at the end.
Excellent. Tower people, you really stepped up. And it's not just for tower people. It's Shorehaven nursing home residents too can go down and use Bank 5-9. But Amanda said she had 45 minutes of constant bank work this morning, so that's good. We want it to be worth their while to be here because it's a service to us. Chris, how's the corner store? I see you over there. I was going to go down and take the hours for it, but I know next week's hours aren't posted yet.
Yep, I've got
Okay. Okay, Chris is going to post hours this afternoon for the corner store. David, do we have a slide for the corner store on channel 900?
I believe we do.
Do we post the hours when Chris updates them? Okay, good. Very good. Thank you. I don't watch, there's a lot of stuff going on channel 900 right now. I watch snippets of it. So please tune into channel 900. And you might say, well, it doesn't always, make a difference to me. It doesn't always refer to me. But there are a lot of things going on. And as we can open up, will be things that you can enjoy. Chapel bus we talked about. How did we do on the wellness nurse this month? I know that last month we had only a few people, especially on the North Campus, that took advantage of meeting Jan and learning about what she can help them with. Brian, did you?
2 hours. She said she didn't have anybody from 10 to 11.
Okay.
So unless we get more, she's probably going to go from 10, or excuse me, 9 to 10.
Okay, Lake Terrace folks, Jan said she didn't have anybody for the last hour on Tuesday. So if it's not something that's needed, we're not going to expend staff time to do it. So please, if you want us to have a baseline on who you are and how things are going, come see Jan, just if it's to take your blood pressure and for her to see who you are and you see who Jan is. That's kind of important. So we'll give it a try this next time, but and I'll try to remember to talk about it at town hall meetings, but if we don't see changes, we'll minimize that, maybe just from 9 to 10. For the North Campus also, I talked with Mike this morning, and the food club is meeting again. And food is always everybody's biggest, topic of conversation. And it's May 20th. Thursday, May 20th from 2 to 3. And Mike would welcome you to come and talk about the pub, talk about Rockwell's, talk about what you'd like to see. Everything might not be possible, but let's talk about what we can do as we open up. Talking about the pub and Rockwell's. If you live in the nursing home, or if you live in the tower, you are welcome, and you are vaccinated, you are welcome to use Rockwell's. You will have to call for a reservation. If you are bringing guests, it will be your job to police them. You will be the vaccine police, because it will take 2 vaccines to come and visit Rockwell's. So you will have to make sure your guests are vaccinated, but you may make use of Rockwell's, you may make use of the pub. We're very happy to open that up. This begins the 10th, May 10th, the Monday after Mother's Day. We're going to take it even a little further. I know that we have volunteers who would love to be back at Rockwell's and enjoy a fish fry. We will also welcome them back beginning May 10th. And again, our volunteers that are coming back all have 2 vaccines. That is part of how they get back into the volunteer force. So, you know, we will have record of the volunteers having their shots. I know that Chris is taking care of that. So we want volunteers to be back in there. Staff, if you have had both vaccines, you are welcome to use Rockwell's again. Please, again, call over, make a reservation. If you're bringing a guest, it's up to you to be sure that they have the 2 vaccines. We are not going to be the vaccine police, but we want to be sure that we are being safe over there. When we talk about other, you know, groups and that, we are opening this up to anyone that came there before that has 2 vaccines. Corporate members will be invited back. They will get a letter from me explaining how this is going to go. We'll put something out for staff and volunteers also. I'll get something to you, Chris, to get out to the volunteers as to how we're going to do this. I think we've been at this a long time, and we don't want to just throw open the floodgates. We are going to be a little concerned about what kind of parties we bring in. It's not going to be stretching the imagination on these. We are going to be very careful. There's been some questions about folks renting the rec room over at Lake Terrace, and you know, Lake Terrace folks, yes. Tower folks, yes. But folks from the outside just renting that room, they have to walk through our residential area. We want to be safe yet. We want to, you know, we want to keep some kind of control on this. But I spoke with Mike about this, and we're really, we're very confident that we can be safe. The airflow in Rockwell's is very good. How many units do you have in there? 3, I think, 3 units that move the air in there. So it's not something that we're really concerned about being too stagnant in the air. What else? You had a phone call, Amanda. Okay. Okay.
I got a couple from staff asking face shields still, like is any of this guidance changing for us and having to wear face shields?
So that was actually a CDC change. So they changed when, like, flu precautions, anything like that, they have added the face shield. As of right now, that is.
Yes. Face shields are still in place, unfortunately. Now, that again may change. We have not heard DHS's interpretation of this. We have CMS here, and they really didn't refer to that at all as a change. CDC made that recommendation, and we're going to see more face shields in our future. If we have a flu epidemic or that type of thing, face shields are something that the CDC is recommending. So unfortunately, staff right now, we're still, if you're direct care, the face shields are going to be part of it. As soon as we know there's a change, we'll make it. But, okay, Kathy's on top of that. Okay, Kathy Fremming is getting either has or will have an email out shortly on that. We've got another call coming in.
So this just still kind of goes back to the whole masks and face shield thing. I had another person call and say, if CDC said we don't do masks anymore here, would we do that for staff? Would we say no more masks, or would that be something that Shorehaven?
Well, CDC is one thing, CMS and DHS are another. If CDC says no masks for staff, we would take a look, we would have to hold off till CMS, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, and DHS tells us it's okay, because our licensing is through DHS. They're the agency that comes in and takes a look at us and does the survey. The reason we bow to CMS is because we get funding from them for both Medicare and Medicaid. And if we don't comply, funding can stop, and we don't want that.
The face shield is the preferred, goggles are okay.
Right, Emily is just saying, the face shield is their preferred, goggles are okay. And we have some nice looking goggles too. I mean, probably. The problem with the goggles is they shine as much as the top of my head, so you can't tell where one begins and the other ends. That's the problem for me. Any other
Yes.
questions?
Activities called and said, well, you're talking about the boats being at full capacity. How about the buses?
The buses, yes, the buses at full capacity. So shopping trips if you can fit them in the seats, put them in the seats. And they don't need to wear masks unless we have someone who is unvaccinated, then everyone needs to wear a mask. And we're not entirely certain how DHS wants us to interpret this yet, and there might be other things coming down the pike, but we really want to share this with everybody as soon as possible, and this is our interpretation. And those of you who know me and have known me for a while, you know that I can be wrong. And what I say today might be wrong tomorrow. But what I'm telling you right now is what we believe to be true as of right now. Yes, Amanda?
Next Tuesday, there's something posted at Lake Terrace that there's fellowship and information in the
Yes.
Clubhouse.
Yes,
Is that just for Lake Terrace?
that is just for Lake Terrace.
It's not taking place at the town hall.
No, it is not. Next Tuesday, there is a fellowship meeting at the Lake Terrace Clubhouse, and this is to get back on track. They used to call it fellowship coffee. We're not quite there with the coffee and treats yet. That might be coming the next month. But in order for us to get back in touch with the Lake Terrace folks, we will be having an in-person meeting in the clubhouse just like before. And Brian has an agenda set up. It's, we will work to get this all on track so that everybody kind of gets back to normal. Okay, Amanda's grabbing one more call. I was very pleased to see on Channel 900, there was a little slide about the food pantry donations. And I asked about that, and I said, are we doing food pantry? And I was told that this is a self-initiated thing from our residents at Lake Terrace who just want to remember the food pantry and those less fortunate through this time. So I commend you, I applaud you. It is wonderful to be community-minded, and we always want to do that, and to have it self-initiated by the residents, I think is a wonderful thing. So thank you. Call.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, do they need to wear masks to the fellowship?
no, you don't need to wear masks to the fellowship. You're good. If you're upset, we would ask you not to spit. But please no, we want to get back to as much as normal. Oh, the one thing about Sunday chapel that I should tell you, the one guidance that they did not lift yet is singing. They do not encourage singing because you exert a greater amount of force and there are more particulates in the air from singing. Amanda.
Norwegian dancers on Sunday, is there a limit to how many people can be down there for this, and do we have to wear masks?
50 chairs.
As long as everyone is vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. And guess what? I won't be there on Sunday. Emily, are you going to be there on Sunday? Okay. So the people who are likely to come up to you and say, are you vaccinated or put a mask on, are not there. David is going to be there. He's going to be filming it so we can review the film on Monday and we'll come and talk to you. No, I'm only joking. Please, the Norwegian dancers, if I remember them right, they will be fitting under the pavilion and everybody will be outside, very much spread out. So no,
50 chairs that were
there are 50 chairs. The rest is standing.
And it will be on channel 900.
And it will be on channel 900. So if you don't wish to go out, please, tune in to 900. David will be there streaming it. And so, yeah, no masks. Yes.
Okay, so I called just a reminder, somebody who went shopping at Pick and Save today, she said, great that you don't wear your mask on the bus, but remember to bring one, because they do require it at Pick and Save.
Thank you for bringing that up. And thank whoever reminded us about Pick and Save. I'm gonna say, you don't need to wear masks in the building. I would still put a mask in my pocket if I were you. I'd make sure that you have a mask around because you never know the situation you're going to be in. And when you take the bus to these shopping excursions, yes, they do ask that you wear masks. So you don't want to be there without. I mean, or you can, and a ride around town is a nice thing too, but you won't accomplish your shopping if you don't have a mask.
Okay. If you can wear a face shield instead of a mask, it's gotta be a face shield and mask.
Face shield and mask for staff, yes, unfortunately. Oop, one more. Oh, that's Brian, that's probably his wife. Oh boy,
He's listening.
oh, she's listening, that's good, I have to be careful. Chris, anything else from the volunteer area?
We're doing great.
Good. She says volunteers are still coming in, and that's excellent. We're going to get back to. I saw some of the. Want to phrase this very carefully. I would love to say some of our old volunteers are back, but no, some of our former volunteers are back, and it's very nice to see them through the hallways here. And again, all our volunteers have 2 vaccines, have had both their vaccines. We are very judicious about that before we bring them back. So feel free to, be, or I shouldn't say feel free, feel safe around them because they're doing what we ask of them. Okay, Brian, anything more? What did I forget? That's a lot of stuff.
Just the fact that we'll follow up with a lot of this with demos.
Yep, there will be a memo that Brian's put together for the north side of the campus. I know that Emily has put something together for the south side of the campus. Denise, ceramics is coming back the week after Mother's Day.
Sign up is gonna be important.
Sign up is going to be important, folks.
Who's vaccinated, who's not,
Okay?
because if somebody's not,
Mhm.
we'll have to wear masks.
Yep, we have to know who's coming because if we have someone there who is not vaccinated, it will be a masked event. If everyone is vaccinated, it will not be. So sign up with the activities person that you are with. Tower
Yes,
can,
we're gonna have 2 times, and it's gonna start May 10th.
okay.
Morning and afternoon.
Morning and afternoon, May 10th. So Tower folks, if you want to, you sign up with Lindsay so that she knows to expect you, so we know how many people to plan for.
David is also
editing our fashion show, and we're planning to air that a couple of times before and after Mother's Day. Watch the calendar.
Okay, fashion show. Gonna see some of it next week and the following week, before and after Mother's Day. So look for the fashion show on 900. You'll see some slides that tell you when it's gonna be. Tune in.
You just do a quick, the Shorehaven clothes that we're selling.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Amanda wants more to do at the front desk. We are doing a sale of Shorehaven wear. The logo wear that is available will be in a catalog at Amanda's desk on the front desk on this side. Stacy has one on the other side of the campus. And there are some samples, just a few samples.
Yeah, they'll be over at Lake Terrace next week, a couple of days.
Okay, there'll be and I think it's on Channel 900, I saw that, yeah. Some of the samples will be over at Lake Terrace next week, so you can take a look at the logo and the quality and that kind of thing. And get, we will get, I don't remember what the end date is, the 12th of May or something like that, so 10th, okay. So get your orders in and we'll get that ordered. We've got one more phone call here. Oh, Amanda's answering it, I'm glad. So it's a lot of information today. I did a lot of talking, more talking than I probably have done before, but it's good stuff. I want to assure the folks, especially the folks on the North Campus, because we're bringing more people over there. We are trying to be as safe as possible. We're asking everybody that comes over there to be vaccinated. We're asking them to, do the right thing. So we're getting back there.
Just a quick, this was a Lake Terrace person who's a volunteer and said, well, do I have to wear a mask when they come over here to volunteer? They do.
Yes, volunteers still need to wear a mask, face shield if they're, Volunteers, unfortunately, when you come over here on this side of the campus, you're gonna need to mask, face shield, that kind of thing. If it's required of you now, it will be in the coming weeks anyway, until we see different guidance. Okay? Very good. Thank you all very much.